DePIN only works when the real world works. Devices need to stay online, rules need to be followed, users need to trust the network, and risks need to be managed. In this section, we'll connect growth ambitions to operational and regulatory reality. So far, we've built the stack step by step: DePIN basics, incentive design, technical architecture, and go-to-market. Now the focus shifts from launching a network to operating one responsibly, with regulations, compliance, and risk management in mind. A DePIN network is not simply software with tokens attached. It reaches into the physical world, where equipment must be installed, maintained, repaired, supported, and operated under local rules. That changes the success criteria. The network must be technically sound, operationally dependable, and legally allowed to run. As it scales, mature operations become more than back-office work. They become a moat, because reliability and compliance determine whether real customers can trust the service. Field operations do not end once hardware is installed. They are a life cycle. Devices must be sourced, provisioned, configured, and activated correctly. From there, teams need to monitor uptime, performance, and proof quality, so issues are caught early. Mature networks also need repair paths, replacements, returns, warranties, upgrades, and responsible disposal. This loop protects service quality as the network expands across more locations, owners, and device types. Installation is where incentive design meets operational reality. Contributors should know what to buy, where to place it, how to connect it, and what working correctly means. Strong onboarding verifies the device, location, configuration, and connectivity before rewards begin. Support is also critical because installers and enterprise partners will run into edge cases. Track activation success, time to first proof, and failed attempts. These metrics show whether the network is adding reliable supply, not just shipping hardware. As fleets scale, the challenge shifts from getting devices installed to keeping them healthy over time. Teams need to know where spare units are, which failures qualify for warranty, how quickly replacements can ship, and what patterns are emerging across models, regions, batches, or installation types. Treat this as an operating system for the fleet. Clear ownership, metrics, and failure modes turn reactive repairs into predictable lifecycle management. Support in a DePIN network is not one generic help desk. Device operators, customers, developers, and enterprise accounts each have different risks, urgency, and language needs. The operating model should route each group clearly, then classify incidents by impact: how severe, how widespread, and who is affected. Outages, fraud, hardware faults, and security events need predefined escalation paths. Track response time, resolution time, backlog, and satisfaction, because support quality becomes part of the network's reliability promise. Reliability is where network design becomes a customer promise. For a DePIN service, define measurable targets such as uptime, latency, coverage, data accuracy, or compute availability. Then connect rewards to quality, not just activity, so contributors are paid for dependable service. Continuous monitoring helps operators catch degradation before users feel an outage. Be careful with customer-facing SLAs. In enterprise or critical systems, missed reliability targets can quickly become revenue loss, penalties, and churn. A useful way to think about DePIN regulation is this: regulators often care less about the network's architecture and more about the real-world service being delivered. Wireless projects trigger spectrum and equipment rules. Energy projects touch utilities, grid access, and metering. Mobility projects raise safety, insurance, and local permitting questions. Data and storage networks add privacy, cybersecurity, and sometimes financial or securities concerns. Start compliance strategy with the physical activity, then map the jurisdictions involved. For a wireless coverage DePIN, spectrum strategy is not just a technical choice. In regions that use licensed bands, the network may need permits, spectrum rights, or an authorized carrier partner. With unlicensed bands, compliance still matters. Power limits, approved devices, allowed frequencies, and interference rules. Operators also need a way to investigate complaints and disable non-compliant hardware. The practical lesson is to plan rollout country by country, because radio enforcement can change the deployment model itself. When DePIN touches real-world infrastructure, regulation becomes local, physical, and operational. Energy projects may need grid approval, utility coordination, metering rules, or market registration. Mobility networks add permits, insurance, safety inspections, and operator requirements. Sensor and marketplace networks raise questions about placement, property access, and data rights. The practical model is simple. Map the rules before scaling, use local counsel, choose pilot regions carefully, and build partnerships with the incumbents who control the environment. DePIN teams should treat trust as a product requirement, not a legal afterthought. Begin by mapping what data the network touches: location, behavior, environment, devices, customers, or business secrets. Then reduce what you collect. Define retention, secure storage, and restrict access. Users also need plain language consent and realistic expectations about rewards, fees, hardware limits, support, and warranties. Transparent blockchains do not automatically make personal data safe or compliant. Token design is not only economics, it can change the legal character of the entire network. Rewards, sales, staking, governance rights, and buybacks may look like utility in one context, but like financial products in another. Risk rises when buyers expect profit from the team's future work. DePIN projects should keep operational utility separate from speculative messaging, and review KYC, AML, tax, sanctions, exchange, and securities issues before launches, airdrops, or incentive campaigns. Risk management in DePIN is not a one-time legal check before launch. It is an operating loop. Identify risks across infrastructure, vendors, tokens, regulation, finance, and reputation. Prioritize them by likelihood and impact. Mitigate with entity design, market selection, compliance reviews, audits, insurance, and incident playbooks. As conditions change, keep monitoring the network and escalate major issues to governance or the board. The goal is not zero risk. It is disciplined, visible, repeatable risk decision-making. Responsible DePIN scaling is not just about clever tokens or strong architecture. It depends on repeatable field operations, sector-aware compliance, and risk management built into markets, entities, launches, and reliability. Next, we'll test these ideas through case studies, then bring everything together in the capstone network design.